What's up, guys? It's the Carp here, back with the last episode of this Football Manager mobile experiment. I left you guys off with Newport County finishing in second place after winning the title in the year before. Simulated 9 seasons since then, and as you can see, they have won the league two more times before having a bit of a drop off, finishing actually in seventh place one season. But that is how the club has done. So the GOAT has certainly had a big effect. But let's go look at his stats now. So he is now 40 years old. He's not actually retired or retiring, but I've decided to end it with him at 40 years old, just because that is, realistically, 2 or 3 years past, any of the greatest players of all time, their playing careers. At this point, realistically, he would be, maybe playing in like the Brazilian second division or like the MLS second division or something. But I did let it run to at least him turning 40. Um, and as you can see there, 130 goals in 128 games for England. He's continued to play for them even in his old age. I've kept upping his stats. He did lose, a lot of pace, stamina, and strength pretty quickly each season. But I went ahead and upped those. I think if I continued on, he probably would play until he was like 46. Um, at when his contract actually expires in 2050 there. But he's done all right. So since last time, I forget where we left off exactly, but he really only had one season where he wasn't just an absolute world beater, and that was in 35-36. He got 22 goals and 4 assists in 34 games there. But if that's your worst season as a professional player, you've had a pretty damn good career, and he hasn't really had that outstanding of a season. At least compared, like really, the gold standard for him was this 54 goals and 13 assists in 49 games there. He hasn't topped that. He has finished with 40 or more goals plenty of times, and he's finished on 862 goals and 164 assists in 975 games. Pretty damn good goal record, I would say. Other things taken into account, which we would look at in a second, he's pretty easily top 3 players in history with stats like these. I would actually say that he is in third place behind Messi and then Ronaldo in second. And the reason for that is because he actually has not managed to drag Newport County to the let's go here to the Champions League. He hasn't really drug England any trophies either. They've won 2 Euros. We can look at that quickly. You would have already seen him. It was way back in 2028, 2024. He wasn't really even a part of those squads, that heavily. Unfortunately, they haven't won the World Cup. They haven't gotten to the final of the World Cup. I say that. They've gotten the final twice, but they haven't won it. So 30-30, 2030, and 2034, they did make it to the final, but lost out on both occasions. So no World Cup for the GOAT. And if we then look at continental competitions, he did win the Euro Cup, the Europa League, as it is actually called, and the Europa League 2, way back when. And but in the Champions League, he has not even made it to the final except for one time in 2039-40, losing out to Benfica on that occasion. Realistically, the World Cup, I can kind of understand, saying that you have to win the World Cup to be the best player in history is nonsense. It happens every 4 years. It's a lot harder to drag your nation to a trophy. But, if you're playing in a team as good as Northampton is, not Northampton, Newport County is at this point, and, he's played in the Champions League 15, 16, 17 years, and has not once dragged his team to the final. That is the reasoning behind why I wouldn't put him, with these stats up there. Obviously, this is all just, theoretical. He's not a real player, but I would put him in third place in the all-time rankings because of that. So let's just look back at a couple of the other competitions. So he has got, and I actually forgot to add it up, but I'll just run through it real quick just here to make sure I don't miss anything. So you obviously got that runners-up in the Champions League in 39-40. He's won one Europa League, one Europa League 2. He finished runner-up in the Super Cup, the European Super Cup, the one time that he was involved. And then the Carabao Cup, 2 wins, no runners-up. The Community Shield, which is like a Super Cup, but in England, 6 wins, 4 defeats in that. Obviously, he only played one game. Then the FA Cup, He won it 5 times, finishing runner-up 4 times. Won 6 Premier League titles, finishing second 2 times, and then he obviously won 2 league titles early on in his career, that being the League Two and the Championship. He did not win League One though; finished second on that occasion. But so that puts him in total at 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 21, 23 titles at club level, and then 2 European Championships. So he has won 25 titles in his career, which isn't actually that great. Now, part of that obviously is down to the fact that he did start at a League Two club, but I kind of would have expected better, if I'm being honest. But if we look here, these are the actual years where he won those trophies. So only just recently won the Carabao Cup with Newport County, beating Man City in the final. Way back in 2028-29 was the last time they won that. So only winning that 2 times, not really that great. And then the FA Cup, won it a few more times, 2 most recently in 42-43, and then in 40-41. But overall, not really that impressive of a trophy haul given his stats, and given the fact that Newport's really been a decent team. I mean, they won the Premier League way back. Pretty much. I think it was like their second or third year in the Premier League, something like that. So really, they should be challenging for more titles. Now, he did manage to get top goal scorer in the Champions League on 4 separate occasions, but he only got top scorer in the Premier League 5 times, which, given his goal record, is really not that great. It really just shows he's really just consistent more than anything else. The last thing I want to look at here is how many Ballon d'Ors has he won? He's won the most recent one, the World Footballer of the Year. So he won it this year, won it last year, and in total he's got, stop clicking on stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I lost count, 3, god damn it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he won 7 Ballon d'Ors, so that would put him at the top, ahead of Messi, I believe, unless Messi won one recently. He did not. So he has actually got the most Ballon d'Ors in history, one more than the actual GOAT, Lionel Messi. So pretty good on that front. But overall, I would have expected more. It's still been a successful experiment. Having one amazing player in a League Two club definitely is just going to skyrocket that club, into glory. I mean, it's still pretty good. I'm sure if you were a Newport County fan, you would take 23 titles in 25, 26 years, for sure. I mean, any club realistically would. But when you compare his trophy haul to someone like Xavi or Iniesta or Paul Scholes or whoever, it's really not as great as you would expect. But that is going to do it for this series. If you guys have any ideas for other experiments that you would like me to do, leave them in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.